Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dr. Arifah. Nama saya Abdul Syukur bin Ghani Ilyas Awang. Nombor metrik S9431. Saya mewakili kumpulan saya sendiri, Nicholas dan juga Ain. Saya akan melakukan demonstrasi, mewakili kumpulan saya untuk mendemonstrasikan bagaimana untuk set up CPK simulator untuk macam kami dapat projek 6. Projek 6. Dan kita cuba buka dulu dokumen projek 6. Sebelum tu kita cuba buka dulu SPK simulator ini. Okey, kita cuba buka dokumen projek 6. Tujuan utama projek 6 ini, tujuan utamanya ialah untuk menunjukkan hubungan antara hubungan antara replacement polisi yang berbeza ke atas nilai miss rate. Dan di bawah bahagian development ini ialah ketetapan-ketetapan yang perlu ada di sebagai simulator ini sepanjang kami melakukan simulasi ini. Okey, untuk mengimplement setiap ketetapan ini dalam sebagai simulator ini, kita buka sebagai simulator, kita tekan ketiga-tiga pilihan di bawah bahagian configure ini, multiprocessor, memory dan juga cache. Cache. Dan kita cuba lihat kriteria pertama. Prosesor mesti dalam mode SMP dan bilangannya mesti 1. Okey, prosesor dalam mode SMP, bilangannya mesti 1. Cache coherence protocol mesti dalam mode Messi. Cache coherence protocol itu ialah serangkaian protokol ini dalam mode Messi. Selepas itu, scheme for bus arbitration mesti dalam keadaan random. Okey, bus arbitration mesti dalam keadaan random. Selepas itu, word bits mesti bilangannya 16. Okey, bilangannya 16, sudah 16. Lepas itu words by block bilangnya mesti 16. Yang dalam kurungan ini kita abaikan dulu. 16. Dan blocks in memory bilangannya mesti 8192. Yang ini pun kita abaikan dulu. Okey, 8192. Okey, dan sebenarnya kita dapat lihat di sini, block size kita mesti dapat 32 bytes dan memory size kita mesti dapat 256 KB. Dan kita jaya dapatkan di sini dalam kotak putih ini, block size sama dengan 32 bytes nilainya dan memory size 256 KB nilainya. Di situ blocks in cache bilangannya mesti 128. Yang ini kita abaikan dulu. Blocks in cache bilangannya mesti 128 dan kita mesti dapatkan cache size menilai 4 KB. Dan kita sudah dapat cache size 4 KB. Dan yang terakhir, mapping kita mesti dalam mode 8-way associative dan cache set kita mesti bilangannya 16. Okey. Mapping sudah berada dalam associative dan cache set kita mesti 16. Dan dari respon polisi ini kita biarkan kepada defaultnya iaitu LRU. Dan beginilah secara amnya kita ingin men-setup CPK simulator throughout the simulation of project 6. Kita tekan OK. Untuk projek 6, trace file yang kami dapat ialah Hydro, Wave dan juga UCOM. Untuk memasakkan setiap trace file ke dalam simulator ini kita tekan memory traces. Kita tekan traces. Kita tekan PRG. Dan kita tekan salah satu trace file yang kita dapat, contohnya Hydro. Tekan sekali saja, lepas tu kita tekan di peta kecil yang ada tulis P0 di sini. Dan nama prosesor ni kita mesti set kepada 1, jangan naikkan. Okey, 1. Okey. Okey di situ. Dan jika kita ingin menguji trace file lain, kita tekan saja memory trace semula. Kita tekan P0 di sini, tekan wave boleh contohnya, tekan sekali saja. Lepas tu kita tekan P0 di sini dan kita tekan okey. Begitulah caranya. Dan begitu juga jika ingin kita menukar kepada UCOM, tekan semula di sini. Tekan UCOM sekali dan kita tekan semula di sini. Dan kita akan dapatlah uji UCOM. Okey. Dan tambahan lagi untuk projek 6 ini. Untuk projek 6 task 1. Task 1 ini memerlukan kami untuk menguji replacement polisi yang berbeza-beza untuk setiap 3 trace file, iaitu random, LRU, LVU dan FIFO. Dan kami boleh mengubah replacement polisi itu dengan menekan bahagian cache di bawah configure. Kami tekan replacement polisi dan di sinilah kami boleh menukar replacement polisi yang kami boleh uji. Di situ. Dan untuk task ketiga ada sedikit pindaan terhadap salah satu ketetapan dalam development, iaitu di bahagian mapping. Di mana mapping untuk khusus untuk task ketiga bukan lagi set sensitif, tapi kami perlu tukar kepada direct map cache. Untuk itu kami tekan buka semula SAP cache dan kami tekan caches di bawah configure. Kami tekan mapping ini, kami tukar kepada direct. Begitu saja. Ditukar kepada set sensitif semula. Dan untuk mendapatkan nilai miss rate, iaitu perkara utama yang dikehendaki oleh projek 6 ini, kami view evolution cache dan cache dan kami tak view evolution multiprocessor dan memory block ni. Kami tekan cache dan contoh kami tengok evolutionnya secara teks, kita tekan OK, tekan execute, step by step tukar kepada complete dan tekan continue. Okay, prosesnya sedang berjalan. Okay, prosesnya sedang berjalan. Yes, okay. Dan his message ni lah data-data yang penting untuk kami ambil nanti untuk projek kami. Okay, tekan exit. Kami juga boleh menilai berdasarkan nilai miss rate melalui cache evolution cache. Untuk projek kami review nilai miss rate melalui evolution cache ya doktor. Bukan multiprocessor, bukan memory block. Kami ambil yang cache. Kita cuba test yang grafik pula. Okay, tekan execute. Step by step tekan complete dan tekan continue. Yes, okay, dan beginilah graf-graf yang dijana dalam SAP simulator ini secara amnya. Dan kami boleh attach benda ini dalam written report kami. Okay, saya rasa itu saja terima kasih daripada saya untuk tunjukkan kepada doktor bagaimana kami set up SAP simulator ini untuk projek 6 kami. Sekian saja Dr. Arifah. Assalamualaikum, terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Okay, today our group will be present Project C, SAP-C, Hydro, Wave and UCOM. Before that, let me introduce our group members. I am Nurain Nazrah binti Azmi, metric number S63550, and our second group members is Abdul Syukur bin Ghani alias Awang, metric number S61431, and our last group members is Nicholas Chan Chi King, metric number S63128. Okay, our slide presentation contains introduction, simulation task, result and discussion, and last but not least, conclusion. SMP Cache Simulator is a multi-processor simulator to choreograph data flow in individual cache of multiple processor and share memory system. This simulator allows user to specify cache reconfigurations and number of processor within the application program and interpret the miss and hit rate of cache for each configuration while considering reconfiguration costs. There are a few parameters that can be tested in SMP Cache Simulator, such as locality of program, influence the amount of processor, cache coherence protocol, a scheme for bus arbitration, mapping, replacement policies, size of cache, block in cache, amount of cache set, and worldwide. In the next slide, what is cache? A cache is a reserved storage location which collect temporary data to assist website, browsers, and apps load faster. Okay, as you know, cache is a much more expensive and smaller. Okay, depending on the type of information stored, cache can be categorized into 3 different ways. Firstly, introduction cache, which is storing instructions from CPU. Second, data cache, storing data for basic for running applications. And the last one is unified data for storing both instructions and data.
So let's get to the practical part of this simulation project. Project 6, which is the simulation task. So let's get practical. Okay, shall we? So as shown on the screen right now is the default configuration that we have to set before conducting this project 6. Okay, let's see here. The first one is processors must be in SMP mode and the number of processor must be set to 1. Cache coerce protocol must be messy. Scheme for bus arbitration must be random. The amount of word wide bits must be 16. The number of words by block must be 16, and such amount of words by block must yield the value of block size of 32 bytes. And the sixth architectural characteristics, the amount of blocks in main memory must be 8192, and such value must yield the value of main memory size of 256 kilobyte. The amount of blocks in cache must be set to 138, and such number of blocks in cache must yield the value of cache size of 4 KB. We must make sure that. And lastly, the mapping must be set to 8-way as set associative, and lastly, the number of cache sets must be 16. And as for project 6, we are assigned to set C, and under set C, we have 3 memory trace files assigned to us, which is Hydro, Wave, and lastly UCOM. We will test each of these memory trace file one by one when conducting this simulation for project 6. So our main purpose of project 6 is to show the relation between different RISC memory policy on the miss rate of a processor, and for such purposes, we observe the value of miss rate of processors via the evolution of cache. Among these three components under view evolution, we choose cache because cache can temporarily save fetch data that a computer got and also can transfer one data from one memory address to another memory address. So that's why we choose to view the miss rate, to observe the value of miss rate of a processor via the evolution of cache. And we view the evolution for both format, which is text format, and for graphic format. We consider both format to view the cache evolution. So as shown right now is the example of screenshot of cache evolution for each trace file. For certain policy, we put random screenshot on this PowerPoint slide. For the default mapping of project 6, which is set associative mapping, and this we get data. We extract data from this screenshot to answer task 1. This is because our task 1 still apply to the default mapping of project 6, which is set associative mapping, to view the miss rate of processor for each trace file for each policy. Like I said, task 1 still apply to the default mapping of project 6, which is set associative. You can see here we have the evolution via text format, the graphic format for each Hydro, for each memory trace, for each the 3 memory trace files assigned to us, Hydro, Wave, and UCOM. Okay. As shown right now is the specific screenshot that we put on this slide to extract the data to specifically answer task 3. This is because for task 3, we have to change the default mapping of project 8, which is from fully associative to the specific mappings specifically to answer task the question of task 3 only, which is direct mapping. And we have to take note that when we set the mapping to direct, we cannot change the we cannot test any RISC memory policy, because the RISC memory policy for a direct map cache is a built-in one, and we can only test each trace file, but not specifically to any RISC member policy. Yes, here we have the cache evolution via text format, via graphic format. For each of our assigned 3 memory trace file, which is Hydro, Wave, and UCOM.
Greetings, Dr. Arifa and my fellow classmates. I'm Nicholas Chanchikin here by the matrix number of S63128, and today I'll be elaborating on the results and discussion that me and my teammates have gotten from Project 6 at C. So without further ado, I would like to move on to Table 1.1, which shows the miss rate of different memory traces for different replacement. So as you can see in this table, at the left side, we have memory traces loaded, namely Hydro, Wave, and UCOM, and we are also assigned 4 different replacement policies by the name of random, LRU, LFU, and FIFO. So therefore, these are the data of miss rate being recorded in this table, which will be very useful for the upcoming few slides. Let's move on to diagram 1, which is actually a graphical version of the data which are being tabulated in back in table 1.1. So as you can see here, this is a trend of data across 3 different memory trace loaded, as I've mentioned just now, which is Hydro, Wave, and UCOM. And at the legend, we can see here it represents the different type of replacement policies. So next up, we have the first question in discussion, which is entitled, in general, which is the best replacement policy with the best miss rate, and which does it have the worst? Do the benefits of LFU and FIFO policies happen for all the benchmarks, or do they depend on the different locality grades? And so, as you can see here, I've created a discussion box where I've placed all my responses towards this question. Therefore, I will be going one by one to elaborate on this. Okay, first off, we have least recently used, also known as LRU in its abbreviated form, appears to be the best replacement policy which offers the best miss rate, while on the other hand, random emerges as the worst replacement policy with the worst miss rate. This is in light of the fact that we abide by the hypothesis which stipulates that when the lower the miss rate, the better the replacement policy is. And for your information, miss rate occurs when a particular data which is requested by a user is not found in the cache itself. Therefore, the system needs to take a longer time to retrieve or trace the data. Thus, this shows how incapable the system will be when it records a higher miss rate or high miss rate. And furthermore, the benefits of least frequently used, which is LFU, and first in first out FIFO policies depend on the different locality grades of a particular trace file. And why do I say so is because, as can be observed in diagram 1, the miss rate recorded by Hydro, which is 15.139%, and UCOM, which points out 17.161% under least frequently used LFU, are comparatively lower than that of Wave, which have recorded 17.479% as its miss rate. Therefore, as you can see here, this is an inconsistent trend, and this case is also similar to that of FIFO. Therefore, we can substantiate the fact that the benefits offered by LFU and FIFO differs across various benchmarks. And for information, benchmark is, or I would say, refers to the performance of a computer when it is being test run. Moving on to the next slide, we have the second question here, which is, for a direct map cache, would you expect the results for the different replacement policies to be different? Why or why not? Okay, so as you can see here, these are my responses as well. So first up, by using a direct map cache, it doesn't actually result in a different miss rate outcome for the various replacement policies used. And this because direct mapping only incorporates of one possible line for any peculiar block, and no choice is possible. And so we can see that any existing block in the particular memory line will always be replaced by new incoming block. Therefore, direct map cache wouldn't result in any difference in the miss rate outcome. And furthermore, we have the third question here, which is, does the use of a concrete replacement policy improve the system performance? If the answer is yes, in general, which is established with more benefits? Is it from random to LRU, or from random to LFU, or from random to FIFO? Why? Okay, so as usual, I've incorporated my responses here. So to answer this question, I will give a definite yes, because as you know, concrete is the same meaning as definite. So when we have something which is definite, or in our case now, for project 6, which is concrete replacement policy, it is equally important to have it, so to improve the system performance. So me and my teammates, we have come up with a conclusion that change from random to LFU will be a beneficial one. And the reason why I didn't choose random to LRU, even though LRU is considered the best replacement policy among all the others, is because LRU costs more in a sense that it stores H bits. And for information, H bits, as can be seen here in this particular site, that H bit stores the exact time when each item is accessed. Therefore, as can be seen from this definition, we know that LRU is a very accurate system, whereas for LFU, it does not achieve as high accuracy as that of LRU. However, LFU is much more reasonable in costing because it does not store H bits, plus it has almost the same functionality of LRU. In which it eliminates least frequently accessed items and remain most frequently accessed items at the top. Therefore, LFU is the most ideal choice when you consider the costing as well as the functionality. So thank you so much for your time. Bye.
So let's jump to the conclusion of uh, project 6. Okay, shall we? So here are some conclusions that our group can derive from after conducting this simulation project. Okay, so the first one is that different architectural characteristics of computers will different performance for computers to fetch data, and not only fetching data but also other function of a processor, which is the cache of a processor, which is to temporarily retain the data before waiting the data to be transferred to another memory address. Okay, so computer manufacturing companies such as Acer, HP, and Asus must ensure that the quality of their brand is optimal, which means because users will consider the architectural attributes of a computer or the software of a computer when they want to choose what brand of computer they want to purchase. They will be questioning whether is the data processing process in this brand of computer is smooth or not. Because they really want fast navigation of data in their respective device. And the third one, from the simulation project, we find that the best processor configuration for computer to get the minimum value of miss rate, which means that the navigation of data is very smooth. Is the condition such that the replacement policy is LRU and the memory trace file loaded is Hydro. And lastly, we can say that SFP CAS simulator is a clear abstract visualization of how processes are set up in a computer, or how the software of a computer are set up. so that the process of fetching data, temporarily retaining the data, and transferring the data from one memory address to another memory address is set up in a device or computer. So our group has a few reference to complete our written report. Okay. So as shown here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 reference source that we refer to in order to complete our written report. Okay. Okay, that's all from our group. I hope you do understand all of the contents presented by us in this presentation video. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, Dr. Arifah.